Hey, what's up everyone? This is Dark Shadow Vant back at you with another video for the Hunter Call the Wild. So while thinking on the current playlist that I started back last year before the holiday season started, I figured I would do something a bit different and show you and share with you all the story missions with no hunting or barely any hunting involved at all. The missions are totally up to you to do if you choose to do so. So if you want to get some quick, easy cash and XP, this series is definitely for you. Like I said, it's completely up to you if you choose to do them or not. I personally suggest that you do them just to get them out of the way and you don't have to worry about them in the future. So our last video in this series was the Revontuuli Coast in Finland. Today, I will show and share with you the missions from the most recent map that we got early on last month, the New England Mountains. This map is currently one of two maps that gives you the opportunity to hunt 3 out of our 4 current great ones in one single map, being the black bear, white-tailed deer, and moose. Now I know I forgot to share my loadout and give you ideas on what to bring if you do not own any of the DLCs in the ending of the last video. Today I will do my best to do that for you so that way you can either bring the same weapons I have or you can come up with your own based off of the animal classes on the map. So let's grab our guns or bows and come with me as we head to the New England Mountains. So what is up? We are back for the Hunter Call of the Wild in the New England Mountains. Now, I most recently started hunting on this map in a live stream over on Twitch. About maybe a couple of weeks ago, I think. So a little bit of the intro is not going to be here, but I will kind of just catch you guys up a little bit. So you are introduced to Trevor Locke, and there's a little bit of a connection between Trevor and someone else that we're very much familiar with if you have played on one of the original maps that initially came with the game. If you wound up getting the game that was not packaged with any of the DLC maps. So I'm gonna go ahead and start just by picking up the backpack, and we will go from there. And just to show you guys real quickly, so yeah, I have done very little to open up the map. As you can see, I have like maybe gone a little, of the the northeastern portion of the map. So I still have yet to, come all the way down there and come over here to open the map up. So this is going to be something I'm going to be doing on my own time to kind of, get this map completely opened up. So that way we can do some more streams, and definitely do a lot more hunts. Because one thing I definitely do want to be able to do is to start grinding away for the great one, whitetail, black bear, and moose. And like I said in the intro, yes, this is one of 2 maps that you can grind away to get 3 out of our 4 current great ones. The other great one is the red deer, which is not available on this map, but is available on, I want to say, I think 3 other maps. One of them being just like one, if you wound up getting just a regular base game without any of the DLCs, you actually had the opportunity to, for the red deer on Hirschfelden, and then Leighton Lake for the other 3. And Leighton Lakes happens to be the second map with the 3 same species here for New England Mountains. So let's go ahead and grab this backpack and we're gonna make our way.
Cool. I thought it might come in handy. Let me explain what I mean by helping out. In a nutshell, Our visitors can choose to take on various tasks to support the reserve during their stay. For that, we use notice boards to publish hunting challenges and competitions. There should be one just outside that outpost, if you want to go have a look.
Oh, I'll definitely have a look. But there's a reason why I did get the ATV, because I'm gonna try to do a little bit of this, try to speed this up a little bit by just running around on the ATV. It might spook the animals, but they do eventually come back. You just gotta, you know, move from zone to zone or region to region, and they will eventually come back. So we need to interact with the board here.
Of course, we compensate hunters for their contributions. So make sure to check out any other notice boards you come across. They're usually near outposts. Thanks to this system, hunters can help keep this place in tip-top shape, and they get to choose when and how they help out.
Alright. I think I may have...
One last thing. I suggest you go to the nearest lookout tower. It's north of your current location. It'll help you orient yourself and give you a good overview over the valley.
So where he is talking about is over here, which I've already gotten, but, you know... And this was the first outpost that you kind of start near. So, I'm going to definitely try to do a little bit, or try to cover all the story.
I gotta say, your reputation precedes you. I was thrilled when I saw your name among the applicants for this year's competition. There's this other warden who only had good things to say about your ethics and expertise. Since I trust his judgment 100%, I trust you too.
And we will find out who that is very soon. And I hope the ATV does not drown my voice out, but just to kind of keep that.
Which reminds me, I have a surprise guest for you.
No, we don't.
An old friend of yours. You'll find out soon enough, I promise. He should be on his way here right now. Once he's arrived, I'll get you two reacquainted.
There we go. That should be a bit better. So that way you can hear me over top of the ATV, because I really don't need the... I saw a zone. Let's see, what kind of zone is this? I think I might already have it. Didn't have it, but it's a rabbit zone. I do like to do this a lot where, you know, if I am running around on the ATV, especially when I'm opening up my maps, I will stop, and this is what takes me so long to even do it, because this is, like some of the other previous maps, this is one of the large maps as well, and they're all rather large, but one of the reasons why it takes me so long to even open the maps up is when I'm moving along the roads on the ATV and I see a zone that I pass by, I stop, I get it, so that way, you know, I have that zone, so that way, you know, if I want to, like, hunt that zone, because, you know, take it for granted, yes, the drink zones are probably the best zones to find the vast majority of the animals, but because rabbits no longer have a drink zone, so you need to learn how to hunt some of the other zones. So you need to be able to learn how to hunt the feeding zones and even the rest zones. And I will tell you, I have personally shot some pretty decent red deer stags in the past just by hunting the rest zones. But let's go ahead and continue on and get the story mission popping here. And this is one of the 3 maps that has barely to no hunting involved, whereas like the others take so much longer to do because you have to, you know, they have you go from point A to point B, but then you have to like try and find a certain species, and sometimes they can just be so gosh darn hard to find because, you know, you either A, don't have the call that you want, so you're not going to be able to find them very easily without calling them in. So you had to, be patient to be able to get them. Or you had to, or if you're like some others that, just like to, go ahead and get into the grind and, level up that way, you can do it like that to where you're getting the level that you need to be able to get those needed calls for, the black bear, for instance. You need the predator distress fawn call. They will not, they will come to the rabbit caller, but it's not the call that will, that's not the call that will really bring them in. They'll register that, you're calling, but it's not the call that will really, bring them to you, so that way you can get a good shot, especially if you're, like me, and you're, like rather decent with the crossbow or the compound bow. Because I've done a ton more archery or, bow hunting versus...
This valley is an amazing all-round hunting area, both for new and pro hunters. Rivers, lakes, uplands, forests, mountains. There's lots of different biomes and all kinds of game. Pro tip, if you need to get your bearings, try to find lookouts when you're out exploring. They're scattered all across the reserve. I can't wait to introduce you to my little slice of paradise. And I can only encourage you to wander off and discover the reserve on your own.
I lost my train of thought because he started talking. But as you can see, the experience is good. The amount of money that I just got was very good.
If you're good to go, I have a mission of the utmost importance for you. I need someone I can trust to collect maple syrup. You heard me right. Maple syrup. Should you choose to accept this mission, I shall share my best-kept secret with you. My favorite maple syrup spot. More details will be shared with you in due course. Your objective? An area located near the river flowing east to west, right between the mountain ranges. I've marked it on your hunter mate. Godspeed.
It's actually right in here. The river that he was talking about is right there. Oh boy. Kind of wish I had opened up my map, but it'll be fun just trying to do this too.
I'm sure you think it's weird that I'm asking you to pick up maple syrup. I know. Talk about New England cliche. While we're on the topic of cliches, did you know the white-tailed deer is one of New Hampshire's living insignia? It's also one of our most popular species among hunters. So, if you like hunting white-tailed deer, feel free to take part in our challenge. Can't wait to see you in action.
Ah! Hit a darn tree. Then again, that's what I get for zipping around like this. So I need to head south. And I think for the sake of the next video, which is going to be Silver Ridge Peaks, I will try to get the map. Well, I don't know, because then you don't get the full, intro for Silver Ridge. You won't get it if
I've been walking in wilderness as long as I can remember. Me and my father, we basically lived outdoors. I'd get to know every species, every specimen, learn what they eat, where they sleep, how they feel. At the end of the day, you gotta respect all creatures, especially the ones you hunt.
Very much so. Alright. It's definitely going to take a little bit. It might be a little
The
longer
first time
than
I
the
came
last
here, I
video,
was
though.
19. I worked here as a seasonal ranger one summer, and I just fell in love with the place. I was lucky they offered me a full-time job as a ranger. Flash forward 20 years, and I'm head warden. Funny how life can be sometimes. I'm originally from the Pacific Northwest. I was born and raised in the Layton Lake District Reserve. Rings a bell?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly. That same reserve you visited back then. This probably gives you a big clue as to who my surprise guest is.
Oh,
Fair
I already
warning,
know.
though. He can be a little gruff and reserved. Unless you get him started on black bears or unethical hunters, then he won't shut up. His name? Carlton Locke, a.k.a. my old man. Everyone always calls him Doc. Even my mom. I never understood why.
And you can see one of the rivers on the left-hand side there, or you could. But we are going to travel along the riverside to get to this one spot. So I'm probably going to wind up spooking a lot of animals like this, but all in all, the story missions I feel are worth it, personally to me, because, you know, if I, come to the menu again, I'm level 17, so I'm kind of moving along here, but I'm not quite to the level I really would like to be at, which is, say level 40, where I'll have most of the calls, practically all the calls that I need for all the hunts that I would like to be able to do, especially to be able to go after all of our great ones, especially here on New England Mountains. I'd love to finally bag a great one. I've had this game for like 2 or 3 years now, and I've only pulled one diamond, and I just saw it was either a fox or a raccoon. I don't know which. Alright. Alright. So, most of the rivers are actually very, like, shallow. There's, like, very seldom spots where you will actually find it, like, very, very deep. Bobcat drink zone. That's going to be helpful, so that way I can find myself a diamond bobcat. That may have been a bobcat that I saw. Hold on to your seatbelts. This is going to be a bumpy ride. Alright. Open. Got a little open area here where we don't have to keep rolling through the water. Might be some spots I might need to. Ugh. Okay. I'm gonna have to do that. That was kind of messing with my eyes a little. And one of the things I really wish that they would actually, you know, EW should consider doing, because this is like the only chance that you actually get to be able to actually see your character front and back. So, you know, where you're actually in third person. So, you know, and I get that, you know, a lot of people are very used to the first person view. And myself, I can do the first person view. I can also do the third person view as well. Got another, I guess, a drink zone here. So I get another, oh, it's Coyote. I was starting to think maybe it's another Bobcat zone, but that's gonna be good too. Coyote drink zone. Hitting quite a few rocks here. That's what happens when you're running around on ATV through a very, like, shallow river. But just like Finland, this map is very beautiful in, like, multiple spots. And I love it. I really, really do. Thought I just saw something go running there. Ugh. Like I said, fasten your seatbelts. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Ugh. Oh, let's see here. I think I'm just gonna try and make my way through the forest a little bit. Still gonna try to follow the river here. Let's get on this side because this is the side that we're gonna need to be on anyways. I looked down at my phone and then it's like, ooh. We're popping wheelies. Alright, let's switch back to this view. Because I'm gonna just stay off. We're gonna keep following the river, but I'm just gonna try to not go into the water if I can, because that's where all the, like, most of the larger rocks I'm getting that, you know, bumpiness going, and it really messes with my head at times. Messes with my eyesight a little bit as well, but not like very badly, but it's just, you know, one of those things that will drive my head absolutely nuts if I don't, you know, do something like this in moderation, you know. We're almost there. Almost there. You know, let me hop off of here real quick. This would be a beautiful area right here to just set like some stands up along, you know, like maybe a stand over that way, stand over there, you know, get a stand over there, and just, you know, have multiple angles to covered to, you know, see what comes walking out of the woods. And I am kind of more of one of those patient hunters where, you know, yeah, I will most definitely move around to find the zones, but I like to kind of sit in one spot and, you know, see what happens to walk by. But I will still also give calls out too. Looks like there's a hunting spot right here anyways. See what kind of stand this is real quick. Because certain stands are worth building, some aren't. If this is a ground and there's a way to tell if it's ground or not, which is the price, okay, so that's going to be a high-rise stand, which is actually going to be good. Oh, wait. I get on the ATV and then I see this. Got moose rest zones there. That's good. Come back down towards the river. Follow this more. Well, I'm just gonna sit across there. Ugh. Come on. Enough with the bumpy ride. Jeez. I just saw another one. And I'm noticing something too. I am gonna need that gun. I have already done this story mission, gone through the story missions for New England Mountains on my other account, because this is my main account where, you know, I do my streams with, my videos for you guys with here. So, and I have my other account that I do a lot more of my leisurely, you know, gaming, that where I'm not too worried about, you know, if I'm spin out. Little spin out there.
Oh, you're there. Great job, Agent. Our teams have a nickname for that location, the Maple Spot. I realize this might be dangerous, but your next mission is to collect the maple syrup buckets. You'll spot them easily. They're metal buckets hanging on maple trees. Good luck out there.
We're still not quite there. Hey, come on. Give me a freaking bone, man. Sheesh. There's one.
Thank you. Know that I appreciate your efforts. There's one last thing we need to... Sorry, I can't keep a straight face anymore. Here's the reason. We're preparing souvenirs for all participants as a thank you for all their contributions to supporting the reserve. That way everyone goes home with a little taste of New England. That's all. If you don't mind, could you drop it off at the nearest outpost? Let me see. Okay, there's one in that valley. Just follow the river west. You would really be doing me a solid.
No problem. Looks like we had some moose in the area. Some turkey. Oh, there's a need zone right here.
By the way, I have another very important request for you. Hikers have reported spotting wood devils in the reserve lately. Which is strange, because no one in this area has seen one for years. There used to be a lot more of them in these forests, I heard. They're quite elusive, so only an expert tracker like you might be able to spot one. If you do, make sure you take a photo. I'll need it for my next video. I count on you.
Starting to mess with my eyes again. Sorry, guys.
Hey, I realize I barely gave you any info on wood devils earlier. My bad. Maybe you've never heard of them, because they're endemic to New England and, well, they're almost extinct, unfortunately. They're mammals, slender build, gray fur. Thing is, they're tough to spot, even when you're close to them. They're extremely nimble, and they tend to hide behind trees when spooked. So you want to focus your search mainly in wooded areas. Hope this helps.
See, he could be talking about coyotes. Got another need zone. I like to grab need zones as I spot them. I mean, that pheasant zone. Alright, come on. Thank you. Uh-oh. Not good. That's certainly not good. Oy. Well, driving lesson with Dark Shadow Vamp is a complete total fail. Hey, look, a path. Finally. Go ahead and claim this outpost. Thought I was gonna swing the other way.
Good. Thanks a lot. I'll have Holly pick them up when she's back from Nashua. Sorry, I don't usually ask visitors to help with regular warden tasks, but we're short-staffed this week. All right. There's one last thing that you need to know about wood devils. One of their main characteristics, in fact. They're utterly and totally made up. It's a small prank we like to play on newcomers. I make sure to come clean after a short while, though. Don't want to waste anyone's time. It's basically the New England version of the Sasquatch or Bigfoot. Some people claim they saw one, especially in the 19th and 20th centuries, but there hasn't been any scientific evidence. There's always a small chance it could be an undiscovered species, but it's pretty unlikely if you ask me. Many of our visitors love local myths and folklore, and so do I. It's a great way to share cool stories about my second home.
this thing working? Can you hear me? Doc
Hey,
here.
it's Doc.
How are things, old friend? My son Trevor told you I was visiting, right? Haven't been here in years. Last time, Trev was so proud to show me around, and we found some peaceful remote spots we loved. Sorry, I don't remember where they are exactly. We took a few photos back then, and I sent them in the mail a few days ago. I think Trev left the pictures at an outpost for you, in case you'd like to check out those spots for yourself.
So where are we heading off to now? Over this way. So it looks like I can just follow this path. What? West here? Sweet. Hey, at least we don't have to worry
This
about
reserve is
any more.
something else. I get why Trevor chose to settle down here. Me, Layton Lake is where I've lived my whole life, and that's where I'll finish my days, that's for sure. Not much has changed since your last visit, which is a good thing in my book. Hope's still the same, still off the grid and all. Once in a while we have a drink or two at his camp. Me? Same old, same old. Layton's always keeping me busy. I gotta say, I wish every hunter was more like you. Feels like all I do is go through the basics with rookies. It's vital that if you injure an animal, you find it and do not allow it to suffer. I feel like a broken record sometimes. I'm sure even Trev heard me say that over and over. I wanted to fax you the pictures, but, they don't use those anymore. It's a shame. Fax machines are a lot more reliable than all the new devices that young people use these days. Even if the power goes off, the recipient
Will always receive their copy, smudges included.
Oh, hey, Trev. How's it going, son? I was just telling our friend about the pictures of our favorite spots.
I'll need to see those photos, too. I didn't have a beard then, but you had the handlebar stash, of course.
Handlebar stash. My stepdad used to have one, actually. Or kinda did at one point.
I hope you can make time to go hunting with your old man. What do you think?
Sure, of course. It's a very busy time with the video, the reserve, and home stuff, too, but I'll make time.
Good. I know how it is, so don't worry about me if it doesn't work out.
So, I don't know
New England
how
has a
long
fascinating history.
Oy.
Hunting was very different in the early 19th century, too. Back then, they had to hunt to feed their families.
Yeah, people would hunt with muzzle loaders or bows. I have an idea. Maybe we should try that out if you're up for it. Hunting like in the old days.
And that's just a side mission. It's not a required mission, but it's definitely one that's definitely interesting. To hunt like they used to it back in the olden days. I think that was a turkey. But I stopped because I saw this, which is a ring-necked pheasant eating zone. But it's like every time I try to talk, they decide to queue up a conversation, so sorry if I wind up getting a little silent. It's like I don't know when they're gonna talk because it's been a while since I last did the story mission for New England Mountains, but it is definitely one of the easy ones to do. Rarely, there's like, I think there's only one time where you actually have to shoot something. Keep going. Black bear eating zone. Let's see, how far away are we? We're not too far off. Okay. But I love, like, you know, all the colors that you get here. All the orange, the red, green, yellow. I mean, to me, it definitely does feel like it's, you know, the New England Mountains. If I'm correct, I think the state that you're in for this is New Hampshire. Or New Hampshire. Go ahead and claim this outpost, and then we'll go and get those pictures. I love how not all of the outposts look the same.
Good that you found the pictures. That's my little present for you. Believe me, those places are worth the detour. So let me know what you think.
I'm really happy you came to visit, Dad. Can you believe the last time you were here was, what, 7, 8 years ago?
You can't really take a vacation when you're a warden. At least we meet up every year at Christmas. Better than nothing.
Yeah, it's better than nothing, definitely.
How long are you staying, by the way? Hopefully more than a couple days this time?
I don't know. It's hunting season over at Layton, too, so I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, I can imagine. There's no shortage of Baddens in every reserve, so you always gotta keep an eye on them. I have another favor to ask of you, and you're the one whose expertise I trust the most, my friend. I'll compensate you fairly for your efforts, of course. I would need you to take a picture of a carcass left behind by a red fox. There's this particular need zone I know of. That way you don't have to look around for ages. Just a second. Let me send the info to your hunter mate. Thanks for your help.
Time to go and start up some game again.
That photo, is that for the talk you'll be giving on predators in Boston, Trev?
Yeah, exactly. I have this section on red foxes. I'm going for something easy and accessible, so I'm describing their behavior, eating habits, impact on ecosystems, stuff like that.
Yeah, you can learn a lot about the red fox just by studying the carcasses it leaves behind. And a picture is worth 1,000 words.
You can definitely learn a lot from what fox eat. Definitely, that is definitely a true statement. We actually had a fox in my area not too long ago, actually.
I can tell you more about the bi-yearly hunting competitions that are ongoing in New England mountains. That's one of the reasons you're here, right? They're more challenges than competitions per se. There's a wide selection of them you can take part in at any time, skill shooting, weight challenges, among others. Since our challenges are quite popular, the admission fees are important to support our teams of rangers, researchers, etc.
I guess that's how you're maintaining a healthy animal stock then. So how do you go about preventing overhunting?
We screen participants carefully, and we try to foster a culture we call add more than you take out. That's why we have the notice boards.
Looks like we got
Hunters are
some
encouraged to
bear
carry
tracks,
out as many
or
good
not
deeds
bear,
on the
moose
reserve
tracks.
as animals they've hunted. It's on their own terms. They choose what they want to do and when.
It's a good system, as long as it does its job. Make people aware of their impact on nature.
Good. Remember, what the photo should feature is a carcass left by a red fox. I just need one. It'll be a great visual aid for my talk.
And there is one literally right at that marker. See?
How's it going with your hunting videos on the web? You still doing those?
Yeah, you bet. It's awesome being able to reach people all around the world and introduce them to hunting, wildlife conservation, environmental threats.
It's impressive that you're still able to put so much energy into it. I wouldn't be able to do that on top of my responsibilities as a warden.
The way I see it, they're two sides of the same coin. I can't live in my own little bubble and hope for the best. I love sharing what I know, and I listen to people in return. That's the best I can do.
Let's fast travel back over that way, so that way. That is such a tease there. You know, come on. A great one loading screen? Eh?
Bad news. One of the farmers in the south just called. They've been seeing a bear roaming around their farm. Understandably, they're worried.
Alright.
$5 says that some tourists have left behind some food and trash. I get that at least once a month at Layton.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Someone has to go pick up all the leftovers, but also be watchful for bears. They tend to be aggressive when they're hungry.
Oh yeah.
Could you take care of that, old friend? Remember that this could be dangerous, so make sure you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready. I am definitely ready. Let's get. So, let me go ahead and share what my loadout is. It's not changed at all, to be completely honest. But you can completely change it up if you really want to. So I am running around with 2 guns that can definitely stop a bear.
Speaking of food, Dad, there's moose stew on the menu tonight with wild berries and cranberry sauce on the side. Hunted and cooked by yours truly.
Nice. Just like back home. Hey, how's Sam, by the way? How are things at the hospital?
Every time I try to
really
talk.
tough at a few points, but it's better now. We're also making good progress on the house. We're almost done with the structural works.
That's good to hear that you're able to catch a break. Maybe next year it's your turn to come over to Layton during hunting season.
Better close the door.
Maybe. We'll see what we can do. A lot of things are up in the air right now.
It's every time I try to talk, they queue up. And I think that's the only thing that is, like, you know, really tough with trying to make a video for you guys and to talk, is because every time that I try to talk, or almost every time I try to talk, they get a conversation going. And I can't take away from the fact that they had to do, you know, they did a father-son thing here. And I don't mind that, but, you know, for trying to make a video and then every time I try to say something, they queue up a conversation. So the guns that I have are the Zarza 10308 Stalker, the 243 Cuomo Competitor, and this gun is, like, really, really awesome. You only get 1 shot with it, but it is really good. The Sunberg 454, again, with the Zarza and this guy. Can't go wrong, and it's great for the moose. It's also great for the bear as well. And then for the waterfowl and other class 1 species, I got a rifle here with birdshot, which is the only, you know, ammo that you really should use for the class 1 animals. So this is just my personal loadout. You can always change that up. And you actually do start out with a rifle that's just practically the same thing, uses the same bullets. This is from the sidearms pack, and I do believe this one is as well, the Sunberg. But all of these are DLC guns. So if you don't have these, do not feel bad, and I will try to make sure that I give you guys some ideas for other guns that you can use for here on New England Mountains. I'm gonna need that later. Alright, so where are we heading this time? Looks like I can just come down the main road there. But I do think EW needs to consider giving us the opportunity to switch out of first and third person, even when not on the ATV. I know, personally, I would like to see that happen, but I doubt it. And another thing that, you know, I would like to see is, you know, this is the, oh gosh, I can't remember his name, but this is a unique skin that I got that I'm currently using. But something else I would like to see happen is a unique skin for the, you know, the opposite sex. You know, this is Remy Warren. That's what his name is, Remy Warren. And I knew his first name started with the same letter as my first name, which is the letter R. But I just think it would be nice to see a unique skin for the ladies as well come to the game. I think there was a concept art put out at one point, I think, or I think they had one and then they had to scrap that idea. I'm not sure exactly what really happened, but I thought they were going to do it and it just never happened. But I think it would be awesome to see another unique skin, hunter skin, especially for the ladies. Because I do know that, you know, I do know several people that would probably enjoy that. And one of them being my buddy Wasnator88. Go check out his channel. He's also been doing a little bit of Call of the Wild here and there, but he's also currently working on The Last of Us as well. So if that is something that you're into and would like to see, do go check him out, and I will definitely try to leave a link in the description to his channel. But he and I will also, sometime in the future, be bringing back our collabs with the Hunter Call of the Wild. That was something that he and I tried to start, and it kind of took off a little bit, but then at the same time, it just never really, you know, he went off and did his own thing. I started doing my own thing on Twitch, so it was... But hopefully sometime soon, we will begin to do that again, with a little bit of humor added in. Because what's a collab stream without, you know, some kind of humor in it, right? But... let's see, how far away are we? We're not too far off. Alright, remote play.
Trashed camp. Seems you were right, Dad. Could you please pick up the leftovers to make sure the bears don't catch the scent and come near the farm?
Doesn't matter if that mess was caused by humans or bears. It's always our fault anyway. We should know better.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. It may not look like it, but what you're doing is critical work, both for nature and for the safety of the people living here. The farmer mentioned one more location that they saw a bear, on the other side of the river. Could you please take a look?
No, I don't want to take a look. Yeah, we'll go ahead. Alright, let's take a look on the map where we're heading first. Right there. Okay, it looks like we can just keep going straight across from where we're at right now, and then turn right and travel south. But I do hope that this series is going to be helpful for for if you do decide to do the story missions, which ones are the easiest to do, which ones are the more difficult ones to do. And this playlist will just consist of 3 videos, which is going to be Silver Ridge Peaks, New England Mountains, and Red Montuli Coast, because all 3 of these are the only 3 maps that literally have barely to no hunting involved whatsoever. So it's just, go from point A to point B, do this, do that, and you're good to go. Whereas all the other maps involve you having to really go hunt down something, or you had to hunt for a little bit before you can really do anything else. So far as you can tell, there has been nothing whatsoever to really go hunt for. But I do believe we are getting ready to come up on when we're going to have our gun active, I think. Yeah, I think this is when we're going to have our gun active. I do think so. Let's find a good spot to go ahead and turn towards the water side here. There's a tree there. Whitetail drink zone, sweet. So where this is at right now is literally, right in here. So Little Dipper Lake seems to. So I'm pretty sure we'll see some more whitetail drink zones around this lake here. So where this is at is down in the southern portion in the, the Franconia Grant, almost in the center of it, of this region here. So this is the southwestern portion of the map.
More trash. I can't say I'm surprised. Good news is, once you've cleaned up that mess, the farms should be safe again.
Yeah, those who don't clean up after themselves, sometimes they're the same who complain about pollution and talk about how things used to be better. Go figure.
Thank you very much. You've really helped. What? A bear? All right, don't panic. Find a way to carefully get away from it. If it becomes aggressive, you can also go for the kill.
It's up to you. Remember, you're more than experienced enough to handle it. Evaluate the situation and the bear, and make the right call. Well done. I'm relieved we sent you on that assignment. Bear encounters can quickly escalate if you don't know what you're doing.
Me too. I had a feeling. Anyway, you want to get rid of those food leftovers as soon as possible. Just drop them off at a nearby outpost and we'll take care of it.
Nice, decent right lung shot. Kind of wish that the bear was a male instead of a female, but I'll take it. But that is the only time that you actually have to worry about hunting or shooting at anything in the story for New England Mountains. From this point on, it's just like what we were doing before, where it's just going here and there and doing this and that. So, but it is a good opportunity to take down at least a bear, but it's just not, it's not like, the Mr. Black on Leighton Lakes, where it's a possible diamond. And even back when the Black Bear Great One came out, there was a bug that was causing Mr. Black to show up as a Great One. So, just with that said, maybe what they should do, and maybe if EW actually, would consider it, maybe altering that bear to be a possible diamond. Because 9 times out of 10, most of the missions that you wind up doing lead you to what's called an easy diamond. And that's the only time I've ever pulled any diamond from any map, and I've only pulled one since the 2 or 3 years I've had this game. And that was the Roosevelt Elk on Leighton Lakes through one of the side missions that you do. Alright, so where do we need to go now? Come back down and go south. Okay. But, just with that said, I would like to see that happen, instead of that being a female, maybe change that to be a male bear and maybe a possible diamond, but like I said, that is the only time that you really shoot anything. I mean, I could have tried to just go for a run for it, but you get that good shot on the bear and you take it down, and I was able to tuck that lung shot in. That is where we need to go. Let's get rid of that trash.
So, Trev, Hope and I were talking about you the other day. Like I told him, I sometimes wish you didn't live on the other side of the country. Don't you miss home?
Home. It's a fuzzy concept for me. You always had the one. Leighton will always be my home, but this is my second home. I'm closing in on 20 years, and I'm happy here. There's no such thing as coming back in a situation like mine, not after so long. It's not like my old Leighton life is still there waiting for me. I'd still need to start over from scratch.
I understand, I really do. I'm just worried about the reserve. I can't find anyone good enough to take over. I want to get that sorted out myself soon. You never know.
Dad, regular people just say, I wish you'd call more often. I miss hanging out with you, son. You're right. I haven't called enough, and I'm sorry.
Well, you have a good point. We both know that being a warden isn't really a job you can do remotely.
And then life happens, and you procrastinate, but tell you what, you're almost here. We'll have a good time then.
Alright, let's wait for the next mission to queue up.
Sometimes the biggest threat to an environment isn't the most obvious one. In the last few years, for us, it's been an invasive plant species called perennial pepperweed.
I know that one. Tough bastard. Native to Eurasia. Introduced to North America by accident. It's become a pest all over the country.
Yeah, some areas of the reserve are affected now too, so we're recruiting volunteers to manually remove them. Better do that now before the populations become too large. Can I count on you too, my friend? I'll make it worth your time. I've tagged the most affected areas on your hunter mate.
So let's see, where are we going? All the way over here. So they are sending us all the way around the map, practically. I do believe there is a mission that will bring us up this way. But let's see here.
It may not sound like a very glamorous task, but believe me, invasive plants tend to suppress native species. Studies show that without proper control, they reduce natural diversity, wildlife habitat, even water quality.
Yeah, I've seen the damage the perennial pepperweed can do. It's highly competitive and very good at adapting to a wide variety of factors and soils.
Our state agencies have been coordinating local efforts, and we've been trying to educate the population.
I get it. It can be hard for the layman to grasp. How can your own little patch of land cause major stress to the whole ecosystem?
And there are a lot of plants that do that too, so. I mean, a lot of the facts that you wind up hearing are very much true. As you play and progress through the story missions, or even some of the side missions, you know, there are certain facts that they throw out there, even if any of, like, the names are, you know, made up at all, but they do throw a lot of true facts. And invasive species, may it be animal or plant, can be devastating to an ecosystem. Like years back, and I'll tell you this.
That reminds me. I went on the internet the other day and I watched that video you made on invasive species. Well, it was really well made and very clear. Good job.
Oh, you did? Well, that means a lot. Thanks. Glad you found the button for the internet.
But, as I was about to say though, where I live, not too far off, if anyone actually remembers the, when the snakehead started here in the United States, when that began, I live, I want to say about 2-3 miles away from one of the locations that was affected by that. So, you know, and it, you know, so when it comes to invasive species, like I said, plant or animal, it can cause a lot of damage to an ecosystem, and it did. It really did when the snakeheads started, you know, becoming a bit rampant in certain parts of Maryland, which is the state that I live in, and other states as well, where they were widespread at, even Florida. So, you know, and I'll put this out there to you guys, if you have an animal that is not native to the United States and it gets too big for you or you cannot handle it anymore, please do not let it loose in the wild. Find someone that can... Find someone or a place that will take in your unwanted animal and will give it the proper care that it needs. Don't release it because you don't realize the devastation that you can cause by releasing animals that are not native to your area. Looks like we got some deer here. Ooh, I think I just saw a zone. Did I just see a zone? Yes, I did. Red Fox Rest Zone. So we're finding some decent zones to hunt at some point. But yeah, like I was saying though, if you're gonna own an exotic species, you know, don't release it. Whatever you do, do not release it because you can cause so much issues for other native animals, or even if you have an exotic plant, don't plant it because, or, you know, plant it inside. Don't plant it outside because unless if you have that plant in a controlled area, you could, you know, cause a plant that's not native in your area to pretty much take over an area and, you know, over time, it will grow and cause other problems. So that's something that, you know, I like that they kind of added into the story here. We do not want to go that way. I started to. But I always like to follow the roads for some reason. I think it's just, for me, it makes it easier to follow, especially when I'm, you know, going from outpost to outpost, lookout point to lookout point. Yeah, I know one of my buddies, he doesn't give a flying, you know, rat's butt about following the roads. I mean, he will, but a lot of times he'll just go flying straight through the woods on ATV, not really worrying about, you know, spooking the animals, because like I said before, the animals come right back. I mean, and we've already seen, you know, I think we've either seen raccoon or fox. We just saw some deer a little bit ago. And they return. They do return over the course of time. You just have to move away from that spot and they'll come back. Or even if you come running up on the zone and you don't realize it, that there's a zone there, and you're just running around because, you know, you're just trying to find your zones as quickly as possible. You come running up and, you know, you see the animals fleeing, you know, stick around that spot because they'll eventually come back. I mean, they really, really will. I mean, as long as, you know, you're just, you know, sitting there and, you know, just patiently waiting for them to come back, they'll eventually come back. mean, I was just playing Call of the Wild last night for a little bit. Not this account, but my fun account. And I was, you know, I took down a few whitetail on Layton Lakes. Just in one spot. So, you know, definitely, you know, give a spot a little bit of time. Stuff will come back. And I was, you know, taking those whitetail down with the rifle. And, you know, with the new update, one of the recent updates, you know, forget the range that it is, but, you know, there's a spook range for after firing a gun. And just the animals will come back. You just have to be patient. Because I'm more of a patient hunter when it comes to, you know, trying to hop on the grind for the great ones, because, you know, even though there's, you know, ways to do it, but because I'm on console, so, you know, the quickness, you know, I could be, you know, quicker with, you know, just aiming and, you know, find the spot and shoot, but just being on console, it can be a tad bit tricky. Alright, this is our turn right here. But, you know, coming up on an hour and a half of doing this, so, you know, the story missions will definitely take a bit to do, but, you know, in the long run, I definitely say that they are worth doing. Looks like we had some raccoons there. But they are most definitely worth it. You get a good, decent amount of experience. You also get some really good cash out of it as well. And I think it's been like a good constant over 2,000 that I've been getting for doing the, I think I've been seeing like a 2,025 for how much cash I've been getting back. And just pairing that with the more the merrier skill. Oop. Got some zones here. Just saw a zone here. But just pairing the more the merrier skill and doing the missions, you'll actually get a really good, decent amount of cash. And, you know, I'm still level 17, but, you know, I've got over 20,000 in cash. So, it's, you know, and part of that is because I have the more the merrier skill. So if you're going to take the time to do the story missions and even the side missions, definitely get that skill, because it's very beneficial and it will help, you know, get your money up. I mean, heck, you know, you go from map to map with that skill. You know, most maps range from, I want to say, a good 10 to maybe over a dozen quests or missions for you to do. So, you know, with the more the merrier skill, you will walk away.
Do you know what they look like? Tall, branching plants with white flower heads. Just make sure you remove the whole plant when you pull it out.
But, yeah, you will walk away with a good, decent amount of money while using the more the merrier skill. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. 4.
Good. There's one more area that's badly affected, so check your hunter mate to know where to go next. Thanks.
So where are we heading to now?
Well now, speaking of invasive species, hey Dad. Sorry, my father just arrived. I'll call you later.
Jeez. I mean, I love my stepfather, and, well, I love both my stepfather and my father, but I wouldn't exactly call them an invasive species. Ugh.
You know, on the way here, I saw that railroad, and I was thinking, did you get a chance to visit some of the landmarks here, old friend?
Not
Good
yet.
idea, Dad. There, I've just sent you their locations. If you find one during your exploration, I'm happy to share some of our fascinating history.
I think that's a side quest. I do believe that's a side quest. Let's take a look real quick. Yeah. Remote play, you can be a pain in the butt at times. Quit that. But I don't know how much more is left to the storyline here, though, because like I said before, it's been a little bit since I last played this, so, and just even going through the story missions. Oh, looks like I need to. Ooh, finally found a raccoon zone. Probably find a drink zone or two here. A little sound kick up there. I'm sorry. Ugh, there's a tree there. I just want to get this done.
This is the last area with high pest density. After that, we should be good to go.
Alright, so I do believe it's just another 4. So 1. No, it's 5 this time. 2. 3. 4. And 5.
Really good stuff. If we do the work, we can make a difference. Even if all we do is pull some weeds.
Sometimes we harm nature whenever we're ignorant, negligent, or worse, selfish. Everything we do leaves a mark, I always say.
That is very true.
That sounds familiar. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, I guess. Anyway, I'm lucky I can count on volunteers such as you, my friend. You've really come through for us again.
Hey, and finally got a level up.
Actually, I don't have any more urgent tasks for you. But my father and I had an idea as a thank you for everything you've done.
Not just what you done here in this reserve, but also back in Layton. So here it is. There's this spot we'd like to show you.
It's a very special site for our family, and you of all people deserve to see it. It's quite the trek, but if you're up for it, we'll both keep you company on the radio.
Alright, so it's all the way up here. And this is actually a very pretty spot, too. I think it's going to take us all the way up this. I think where we're about to go is we're going to follow this whole trail all the way up there. Aww! I didn't get to say hello to my little friend. Alright. Lake Motier. I thought, for a minute, I thought that said Lake Mother. Alright, so I want to... But yeah, I do believe this is the last story mission that we have. I do believe this is the last one. Alright, we are moving right along, and I expected that this would take a little over an hour, and it's, you know, and I've been recording for an hour and almost 35 minutes now, so, you know, this is, you know, something that did not surprise me at all. I knew it would take a little over an hour. I didn't know exactly how long. But, you know, I enjoy sharing my views with everyone. I enjoy sharing the content with everyone. And I do hope that, you know, like I have said before, I hope this was helpful in deciding whether or not the story missions are for you to do. And once again, this is New England Mountains, and the warden is Trevor Locke, son of Colton Locke, or Doc, from Layton Lake, or Layton Lakes. So, you know, but the story missions are, I personally think, are worth doing at some point. They do help get you to level, you know, they do help you level up to be able to get stuff that you need. And like, you know, I just got to level 18, so I'm like 6 levels away from being able to get the bear call. I do believe the predator distress phone call becomes available at level 25. So, you know, doing the missions can definitely be worth some time to do. And maybe just doing them casually over time, have the story quests active, or, you know, have the story missions active and just, you know, casually do them, you know, as you just go around hunting. And sometimes that's just the way to do it. And, you know, there's even spots like this that you can get this as well that will go towards, you know, leveling. Because I have, you know, literally gone around on
Hundreds
other
of
maps.
covered bridges were built in New England in the 19th century, but only a few have survived to this day. That one became the ultimate kissing bridge after it featured in a couple of hit rom-coms in the 90s.
But, you know, even spots like this are just worth the time to go ahead and just stop and, you know, grab them. It's 100 experience per, and so, you know, as you get to the lookout points, you know, sometimes, you know, some of these, you know, green icons, and and I will say this because I have taken the time to really go around a lot of the other maps to just, you know, see what some of these icons are. And some of them are like, you know, either outposts that I just haven't revealed yet, and some of them are, you know, either are going to be one of two things. It's either going to be a hunting opportunity, like a spot that you could either, you know, you can build a hunting blind or a hunting stand, or just, you know, put your own stand there. You know, you could either, you know, sometimes it's a good spot to drop a tripod stand. And a lot of times in my method, and I have my own personal method with this, kind of like, you know, let's see. Here's one. So that's a hunting stand right there. Had that been a ground blind that I could make, that's where I'd put a tripod stand at, to be personally honest. Because, you know, the hunting stands, I feel, are a bit more worth it to build versus the ground blinds, because, you know, you're higher than the animal. And normally, the higher that you are from the animal, the less likely it is that they will spot you visually and be able to even smell you, because you're up higher than they are. That's the whole reason for tree stands, is you're higher than they are. They're not gonna see you easily. They won't smell you easily. So the higher that you are from the animal, the better, is my personal opinion. So at this spot right here, that's where I'd put a tripod stand at, because it's a it's a spot where there's probably going to be like maybe two, maybe three zones on top of each other. So, and it's probably going to be just a feeding zone is what's going to be there. It might overlap with a rest zone maybe, but those are the spots that are, to me, that are worth putting a tripod stand at. Besides, you know, finding, you know, spots like, where was it? Right down here at Little Dipper Lake, where we found the, you know, the white-tailed deer zone. And we shot that bear at. So, spots like that are also good for the tripod stands and even the tree stands. But I don't do a lot of the ground blinds, merely for the fact that I would much rather have the, you know, the elevation on my side versus being, you know, having my scent right there for them to, you know, smell. Even though we have the scent killer, but the scent killer doesn't always mask the smell of humans. And it's not like, you know, and if I remember it, I think I heard that it's like a 50% guarantee, like a 50-50 chance that it will cover your smell or your scent, but you know, just being higher up from the animal is much better. But let's go ahead and finish up the story missions though, because I do believe that this is the last of these story missions to do. I don't know if I will do a video with the side missions or not, because a lot of it, I mean, there's like one or two that, you know, are like, you know, just go photograph this or go visit this. But like the vast majority of the others are, you know, you have to hunt for the stuff. Oops, there goes some deer, I think. Yep. Great one might have been in there, maybe. Up, there's a... Damn. Well, I was gonna try and shoot one, but we had a little coon crossing there. But you know, and I've said it before, you know, if you're one for the to want to get a little bit of the easy money, easy experience points, doing the story missions, doing any of the missions winds up being very much worth it. Oh look, another group of coons. But for some, and I have met several people that will say, you know, are the story missions worth it? No, they're not. And, you know, I won't argue, you know, with that person because, you know, not everyone wants to take the time to do the missions, and even the certain side missions, certain story missions do in fact lead to possible diamonds. And I do know that Leighton Lakes is one. I do believe Hirschfeld might have a possible diamond that you can shoot. I do know Medved Taiga does. I do believe Cuatro Colinas does. Parque Fernando, I do believe. So I think a lot, like the vast majority of the maps do in fact have, you know, like a chain of missions that will lead you to a opportunity to shoot a diamond animal or a diamond potential animal. I know and like I said, I know for a fact Leighton Lakes does, because that's where I shot my first diamond at, and it happened to be a Roosevelt elk. Mr. Black trolled me because it, you know, I thought, you know, here I am, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to get a diamond there, because at that time is when I learned that, hey, I want to get an easy diamond, you know, do the missions. Okay, I do them. Mr. Black winds up trolling me. I think I was off like a couple of points, I do believe. But are the missions worth it? Yes. To me personally, I do believe they are worth it. Now, and like I said before, it is completely up to you if you choose to do them. And you know, just do them. Get them out of the way. Because then you don't have to worry about, you know, doing them again at some other point. You know what? Let's speed this up a little bit. I'll fast travel there. Because it's almost closing in on 2 hours here, and it's going to take me a little bit to get up there. But, I mean, I don't mind running around on the ATVs, though, and opening up my map. But, you know, when I am making videos, and if I can, I will try to not, you know, be on the ATV as much. Gotta go with the red. It's one of my 2 favorite colors. Black is my other favorite color. Where's that ATV at? It's over here. But, you know, the story missions definitely worth. I would say they're worth it. Some other people might say no, they're not. But you know that. You know, it's completely up to you if you want to do them. And I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record every time I say that, but you know, it's true. It's really up to you if you choose to do them or not. But if you do make use of the skill, the more the merrier, because it's a 50% increase to how much you get, money-wise, from the missions. So, you know, you will walk away with a decent amount of money if you take the time to really do the missions. Now, even if you want to get those easy dimes, you know, that's one way to think about the story missions and even the side missions as well. But, you know, all in all, again, they are worth it. But, you know, again, that is it's completely up to you if you choose to do them. But I do hope the videos so far have been helpful to you to, you know, decipher whether or not if you're going to do these story missions or not. And again, I will say it, you know, it's completely up to you. You are the player. Don't let someone tell you, no, don't do the missions. You know, it's totally your choice whether or not you choose to do the missions yourself. I mean, so, and I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh yeah, you have to do them. No, it's completely up to you. Whether or not you choose to do them is of your own choice. I personally think that, you know, myself, I'd much rather get the, you know, the easy cash, the easy experience points from it, and, you know, then go from there. Are you gonna reach level 60 just doing missions alone? No. No, you won't, because, you know, you even saw me just get 1 level from just doing the story missions. Now, are these going to help me get there? Slowly but surely, yes. But, is it going to be enough? No. I mean, just even coming to the codex, you look at your profile card, you know, it's going to take quite a few missions and some hunting to get me to the next level. But again, you know, are they worth it? Yes and no. the more that you hunt, the better. And, but, you pair the hunting with the quests, oh yeah, you'll definitely get there, but just to get to the max level alone with the quests, probably not. I mean, I could have met, and I think I have reached, I know I have reached level 60 once before, and that was between doing the story missions and doing my own hunts as well. I think that was a moose that I just saw. And we're almost there. We are almost there. But again, I do hope that this video was helpful just to, show and share the story missions for New England Mountains. And just the surprise that you wind up getting, the fact that Trevor is in fact the son of Colton Locke, or Doc, from Leighton Lakes. Just to tie, have a little family tie there, was actually rather interesting, and it surprised me when I first played it. Got another need zone here. Turkey. I think that's the first turkey zone I've found since I've been recording. Alrighty.
Listen, son, well, don't get me wrong, I don't mean to evaluate your skills as a warden or anything. You don't need it. I just want to say you're doing really good work here, Trev. Excellent, even. I mean, it's obvious you love this place and you take care of it. Plus, you do all that extra work on the internet. Anyway, I just keep doing what you're doing out here. I know you'll do just fine.
Wow,
Try and do this a little
I was not
slow.
ready for this. Did you write up that little speech in the car?
Because
Jokes
they
aside,
do have their...
I love sharing what people like us care about. Passing along what I learned. Thanks, Dad. That means a lot. More than you realize.
Because they do have their own little
Well, that's good.
conversations.
I'm glad, son. Hey, you got any coffee left for me? I could use a refill.
I mean, I could jump off the ATV and just, walk this, but then that would take just a little
The camp,
longer.
the view isn't anything special, but my father and I built it together ages ago. Remember?
Of course I remember. It was your first year here. That whole area to the north is like far off and demanding, and we're both getting tired. So we decided to set up camp for the night. When I saw you building it, I remember thinking, that's it, Colton. He's not a kid anymore. When you're a parent, you always think you have all the time in the world with your kids, but you don't. You try to juggle work, your kids' homework, and everything else, and the next day, bam, you wake up and they're moving out and starting their own life.
think we're about to hear some happy news here in just a second.
Juggling work and the rest every day. It's like, I'll do that tomorrow, or give your old man a call. I'm starting to understand how tough that must have been for you. Me too. I always say I'm too busy, and I don't even have kids yet.
When you were a kid, sometimes you'd get mad at me for not taking the time to play with you. And I hated seeing you like that.
Another turkey zone.
I have some news to share, actually, Dad. I've been dying to tell you, but it was face-to-face kind of news. You're going to be a grandpa.
Aww.
Sam and I are having a baby daughter.
Really? Oh my God, I can't believe it. Ha! Congratulations. Really, I am so happy for you two. That is, oh wow. Oh, when's the due date?
End of February. Thank you so much. Now do you get why I kept nagging you about coming over?
Oh, that's cute. It's always good news when you hear that, you know, something like that. And I'm expecting my third niece. Oh gosh, I can't remember. I haven't even heard a due date yet, but my sister's expecting her third little girl. Or one of my three sisters, but, it's the oldest of the three. So it's always good news to hear when someone's expecting a kid.
You're almost at the camp. I can't believe that camp still
Expecting a
exists.
baby.
I remember Trev and I had a good talk the night we built it.
Looks like there's
We
some
talked a
deer.
little bit about your mom. Remember, Trev? You know, about back home.
I've been going back and fixing it up every now and then. That way hunters can use it if they need to. That camp is for people like you, my friend. Thank you for being there for our family. Let me know if you need any help during your stay, and I'll be in touch. Tell you what, Dad. How about you and I go and hike to the camp in a few days and spend a couple nights there? I'll show you how it's done over here.
Deal. Maybe in a few years, if I'm not too rusty, we'll all go. We'll show your daughter the ropes.
You got it. You hungry? Come on. The stew's ready.
And that is it. That is the complete story missions. Like I said, you just shoot a bear and that's it. I mean, barely any hunting. I know I've had like some good shots at some animals. You know, I probably could have gotten that one of those raccoons. You know, when I saw them, but I was on the ATV and then, trying to, be very quick. But let me fast travel to a outpost, and then we will take a look at some alternatives for the weapons that I have, so that way you guys can, pick and choose what you want to use. For the 243 Kuamo, that is a DLC. When you first start out on the game, you actually do get the 243 rifle, and they cover the same classes. So, and I will show you guys the loadout here real quick again. So it's the 308 Zarza, the Arkuamo Competitor, the 243, the Sunberg 454, and the Norden 20 SA Clandestine Rifle. The Clandestine is just the color, I think. But, so let's head inside and let's take a look at some alternatives that are not DLCs that you can use for your hunts. So let's see. So the 223 is another good decent one that is not a DLC. It's good for like the coyote. It's a good coyote rifle. It's also, I believe it covers, let's see, let's take a look. So yeah, 2 through 4. So you're like your small to medium sized game. So oh my gosh, people putting out some videos on YouTube and I keep getting the alerts. But for the 243, it's actually the 223 is actually pretty good for your small to some mid-sized animals. Let's see. Let's take a look at that 243 rifle. So, a lot, and the ones that are free, the ones that you see that are free are your DLCs. Now, there are some that will tell you, let's find one that's going to, like, the 300 is actually a pretty decent rifle. I know, I do know that Lady Legend is, I think that's one of her favorites to go to is the 300. Let's see, the 7mm is actually a pretty good rifle for more of the heavier size game, some of your larger game. Let's see, we want something that is not DLC. That's a DLC because this is, you actually have to use that for Hunger Savannah. The Hornets, you have to have the Mississippi map for that. I think it's the same thing with the Coleman, or all the Colemans. Yeah, these are just different colors, and I actually kind of like that green, but I don't know yet. But a lot of some of these are going to tell you that you had to, like, here you go. Unlocked by completing missions for him in Quattro Carolinas Game Reserve. So, there's some that are going to be mission locked. So, you have to definitely do some missions for certain guns. But, let's see, there we go. So, here's one of the two rifles that you start out with when you first start the, game. So, the Ranger 243, and once again, 2 through 6, very much like the 243 Kuamo handgun in the sidearms pack, is rather decent, and not to mention that And I was just telling someone that just recently started the game not too long ago, is if you are just now starting out on the game, grab, as many of the soft points as you want to. Now, the penetration is the stat that you really want to look at. The polymer tips are actually better, is the better ammo. But when you're starting out, if you're starting a brand new game, go ahead and take full advantage of the free, 243 soft point bullets. And, go and, like, get, like, a good 2, maybe 300. And just, run around and shoot anything that you can. But remember that you have to, to get the full integrity, don't go any higher than class 6, which is going to be, let's see, it ranges from the coyote all the way to, I think the red deer is a class 6. So let's see. And the best way to figure that out is to actually come here to the codex, look in the wildlife, because I do believe the red deer is a class 6, but I could be wrong. Yeah, class 6. So, you could definitely take down a red deer with the 243, but the soft point, you're not gonna get like a good penetration with that, but you can definitely take a red deer down with it. It's just, you just have to get that very well placed shot. So let's take a look at some other, possible. You also start out with the Stradivarius as well, the 270 here. So, and this is another good, decent one for some, okay, so recommend classes 4 through 8. So, if you want another good, decent, class 8 gun that you can start out with, the 270 is another one that you can, pour a little bit of money into to get your, something good and decent for the class 8. And this is actually another good, decent gun for, I want to say, some of the other maps as well. Considering the fact that, recommend classes, again, 4 through 8. And that will cover, moose and the black bear. So if you're just now starting out and you want a good, decent, non-DLC gun, and you don't have, a lot of the, or you just don't have any money to really pour into the DLCs, here's a really good, decent rifle that you do start out with in the very beginning of the game that, you can actually use to take down a good, a black bear with, take down a moose with, because the black bears are a class 7, your moose are class 8, and I do believe the elk is class 6, so even the elk on Layton Lakes you could, take out with the, you could either use a 243 or the 270. So another decent weapon of choice. Let's take a look at the handguns real quick. So, let's see here. Wildcat Magnum. Let's see what. So 3 through 8. So a good wide variety. But again, you had to get your handgun score up pretty decently for the handguns. Let's see. But, I could buy it right now because I have plenty for it. But I don't want to. I don't want to buy that quite yet, but it is a good, decent handgun. You can use it for a good chunk of the animals available for most of the maps, minus the wildebeest on Virunga Savannah, and I also believe there's the water buffalo on Parque Fernando is a class 9 as well. This will not stop. I mean, you could take them out with it, but it might take a little bit. So let's see. Let's take a look at another handgun here. The Rhino is a really decent gun. It is not a DLC, but it's also going to be one that you have to definitely, grind at the handgun skill for. But it is a really good gun, classes 4 through 9. So you could take down a buffalo or a bison with this gun. So, but of all the handguns, the Rhino is probably the better alternative, especially if you're, like me and you want to go all archery but have a, handgun as a backup. This gun I would probably recommend just for that. Shotgun wise, let's see. I don't think that's the free starter, or is it? Okay, so yeah, that was a free start. Okay, so you start out with the Caversham Steward here. And so let's take a look at the ammo. So you can, this is a gun that you can get the birdshot with and the buckshot. Now the buckshot you can definitely use for your coyote all the way up to wolves. So, classes 2 through 5. Birdshots is only your class 1, so that's going to cover rabbits and all bird species. So, and that's just the starting, rifle or shotgun that you start out with. There's some others that you can. I don't remember if this was the Kuoso. I do believe the Kuoso is one. I think minus this one. I do believe these two are available. Let's take a look at what they have. Okay, so they have all 3 different ammos that you would want to use. The slug will definitely cover your bear, but no higher than that. Buckshots and birdshots. But, again, that's a decent one, but I think... And let's take a look, and, this is a design that this is the one that I'm running around with right now. But, let's take a look. So, again, 4 through 7, 2 through 4, and 1. So this would be a good cover for, all the way up to bear and moose. But any higher than that, probably not. Mostly for the fact that, again, I could probably take down a class 9 animal with the slug, but the chances are it's probably not going to, get that penetration that we want. Let's take a look at the Kuoso real quick. Again, 4 through 7, so I don't think you would really want to use any of the shotguns, but another good decent alternative, even though I do know it is a DLC, let me find it real quick. I think that was it, actually. Let's take a look. I don't think that was it. Or was it? No, here it is. The Grok drilling rifle. So, and one of the other reasons why, even though it is a DLC, but it's actually very decent. And one of the reasons why is you can use rifle and shotgun ammo on this. So, and the rifle ammo will cover your classes 5 through 9. So, you can, that covers everything from wolves all the way up to bison. And even the buffalo as well. Now, the birdshot, again, your waterfowl and your rabbits. Your buckshot will be your coyote all the way up to hogs. And then the slug will be your hogs all the way up to your bear. So, again, if you want a good all around, you just want to have one single weapon on you and you have the drilling rifle or the Grok drilling rifle here, which is technically both rifle and shotgun, but for if you just want one single weapon and cover every single class, this DLC, I forget which DLC this came in. I think it was one of the weapon sets, but it's one of my favorites for, if I'm going to just, go for one single weapon, rifle wise and even shotgun wise. And yes, I would definitely recommend, even getting the weapon set that the drilling rifle comes in. Now, archery wise, it does not matter what you use. Every single bow or crossbow that you want to use will cover every single grain. So, because you'll have your, and this is just like the, which one was this again? So this is just the Alexander longbow. So, they had the 350 for your class 1 through 3, the 540 for your classes 4 through 7, and then the 700 grain for classes 8 through 9. So, and all of the bows cover every single class. So if you're one for where you really want to have, just one solid weapon that you want to use, and you want to try the archery route, then, yeah, definitely check out, a lot of the bows, and they are rather decent. Now, if you really, really want to go the archery route, pay attention to the peak draw weight. That is a biggest stat when it comes to archery that you want to pay attention to. So for your longbows, you have that peak draw weight of 60 pounds. Again, 60 pounds for the Bear Claw Light, but then the peak draw weight for the crossbow is 165 pounds. So, and then the Hawk Edge is moderately better, than, the Bear Claw and the Alexander longbows, with a peak draw weight stat of 70 pounds. That's pretty decent. And the same thing with the, the recurve bows here, 70 pounds, 65 pounds, between, the other bows. But at the same time, again, I think if you're going to go archery route, the crossbow is probably the better way to go. if you really want to get that, you know, good speed, because it's, you know, your peak draw weight is going to definitely be the deciding factor there. Whereas if you're going to go just with a compound bow, the Hawk Edge is where you want to go for, is the one that you want to go for. The peak draw weight for the Bear Claw Light is 60 pounds. The Coter, and these two came with the, what is it? The oh gosh, it's the DLC that will give you the nighttime sights for rifle and your the range finder for the, but I can't remember the high-tech pack is what it is. So you want the high-tech pack, you will get this alongside let's see, alongside the Bright Sight Rangefinder bow sight, which is actually probably the better alternative than going, you know, with these. Even though, you know, very much like the sights for the crossbow, knowing how to use these is, you know, is where you really need to pay attention. But all in all the bows are really good, but if you're gonna go archery, I completely and totally recommend your crossbows. The peak draw weight is a stat that you want to pay attention to, where the I think the accuracy is definitely a rather better as well. Whereas, you know, the reload speed is a bit slower than the compound bow, but it's honestly worth it. But, and your magazine size is also a little bit bigger as well. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope those recommendations also help you out as well. But definitely consider, you know, going through the storyline missions and even some of the side quests, because they will give you that extra bit, you know, boost to your experience points that you're getting, and a little bit of cash as well. But on that note, I will go ahead and end here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was rather helpful for you. I am Dark Shadow Vamp. You can find me on Discord. You can also find me over on Twitch. And you can also find me on Twitter. I also do have some of the other social media, but right now I am not sure if I'm going to go the Instagram route or not. But, you know, maybe sometime in the future I might consider that. But anyways, do go check out my Discord. Link is in the description. And I will also make sure to get you drop that link for my buddy Wesinator88, so that way you can go give him some love and check out his content too. He does a lot more than I do, because he is going between PC and console. But definitely go give him some love. Go check him out. And once again, I will say good night, goodbye, and remember, keep gaming.